Welcome to Your Biz, Your Rules, the podcast for business-minded go-getters hosted by me, your favourite brain and biz coach, Daire Paddy. This is the spot for those of you ready to blend heart and head, woo and do, income and impact, change and chill, and so much more. So grab yourself a cuppa and let's get started. Welcome to episode 227 of Your Biz, Your Rules. In this show, I'm going to be sharing a really quick technique to help you make sure that every week feels like a successful week for you. Now, success means something different to all of us, and the rituals that help us create those feelings of success will be very different for all of us. But I'm thinking that this little process that I'm sharing will tick those boxes no matter who you are and what you do. The thing that I really wanted to talk about with you guys this week was how to set a successful week in motion. We hear a lot and we think a lot about things like morning routines and maybe like planning sessions, CEO days, that kind of thing. But one of the biggest game changers for me has been really about being more intentional with how I set myself up for a week. So the week ahead, no more, no less, a week. And I have a few tips that will, I think, really help you figure out how to do the same for you. Like, I'm not trying to give you a rinse and repeat strategy so that you're copying exactly what I do, because honestly, I don't think that kind of thing ever works. But I'm going to share the process that I go through so that you too can start creating something that helps you have your own version of a successful week. Now, my first tip, and this probably sounds silly, it probably sounds completely idiot-proof, but make sure you're actually taking a break before your week starts. I know when we run our own businesses, it's so easy to just always be in work mode, even if it's only slightly in work mode, just thinking about our business, thinking about things to do, thinking about our content. But if you never take a break, then you are never going to feel fully rested. You're never going to feel grounded. You're never going to have your best ideas. You're never going to have the freedom and choice and space that this business is supposed to be creating for you. So make sure that you are actually taking a break before your week begins. And you'll notice that I'm not saying before Monday. Like, your week can begin whenever you choose it to. We all have different commitments on our time. We all have different lives. And that means we all have different work weeks, especially now that we run things for ourselves. Like, gone are the days when it's Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. If you want your work week to start Wednesday at noon, then that's when it starts. So as long as you're making sure you have some time off before your week starts, then that is first step complete. Then when we're ready to go, when we're ready to get moving, ask yourself two questions. That's it. Number one, what does your version of a successful week look like? So a week from now, how would you be feeling? What would you have accomplished? What results will you be celebrating? And these answers can and probably should change week on week. No one's expecting you to want the same thing every week of your life, but actually pausing for a moment and getting clear on what you actually want from the week ahead can be very helpful, because otherwise we go into autopilot. We keep going through the motions, doing what we've always done. And often there's a disconnect between the actions we've always taken and the things we actually want right now. Because I know for me, there are times of life where what I want from a week is chill and to be left alone. And then there are other times where what I want from a week is to feel like really inspired and really like forward moving, like I've got loads of momentum. And then there are other times where I'm like, I just want to make money and I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And then there are other times I'm like, I want to make money, but I want to be watching Grey's Anatomy while I do it. And there's no right or wrong here, but actually getting clear on what a successful week looks like for you is really the precursor to making sure that it can happen for you. And then the second question that I would ask you, that I would ask myself when I'm doing this is, what do your heart, your body, your mind need for you to feel completely unstoppable? And whereas the first question that I mentioned probably changes week on week, this one is going to be somewhat similar every time you ask yourself. For me, honestly, every time I ask myself this question, the same things come up for me. And that's okay, like that's not wrong. So for me, these are things like being well fed. Being well fed makes me feel unstoppable. Being free from nervous energy. Like if I'm really like tense and nervy and can't sit still, that doesn't make me feel unstoppable. Feeling calm, feeling supported, feeling relaxed about money, feeling like magical or connected to magic. These are all things that make me feel unstoppable. So knowing that, and I mean, you can still think from my list, maybe you've got your own, then we ask ourselves, okay, like what are the actions that will allow us to feel that thing? So let's look at these one at a time. So if to feel unstoppable, I need to feel like I'm well fed. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean I need to do in my life to facilitate that? Well, that is going to be making sure that I have plenty of food in the house. So something that I've done to really help with that is set up regular food deliveries. So now I get like a fruit and veg box delivered once a week. I get meat and fish deliveries once a month. Like I get things delivered to my house, so I don't have to consciously think like, oh, I need to make sure there's some food in the house. And then something that I will do most Sundays is I will make sure that I'm prepping a couple of meals to see me through the week. Like I always make sure that my breakfasts are done in advance. I always make sure my lunches are done in advance and that I have the ingredients to put my dinners together. And that might sound really labor intensive, but actually that is a huge game changer for me, because if I have to stop in the middle of the day for a meal, I probably won't. And if I don't, then I don't feel fully fueled. My work isn't good, as good, my energy isn't as sustained, and I end up feeling depleted. And that's not what I want. So another thing that I said, so another thing that makes me feel unstoppable is to feel free from nervous energy. So at different times in life, this has looked like different things, but I used to go swimming every Monday morning. That was a way for me to just like release that nervous energy from my body. And then there have been times where I've done yoga on a Sunday night, and that's done the trick. There have been times where I've done like Monday morning breath work, and that has done the trick. It's going to be different, like depending on like where you are in your life, where you are in your cycle, how you are health wise. But choosing to do something that just gets rid of all of that like tense nervous energy is really, really helpful for me. For the past few weeks, that has been tapping. So Monday mornings I've spent doing some tapping before I start work for the day. Another one that I mentioned was feeling calm. So again, it could be something like tapping, it could be something like breath work, but for me, the thing that makes me feel calm is cleaning my office before I start work. So there have been times of life where I've done this on a Sunday afternoon, but recently I've been doing it on a Monday morning, just making sure that my office is clean, that my desk is clear, that my workspace smells good. And it just makes me feel a lot more calm, a lot more steady, a lot more ready to tackle my week. And I love that. There have also been times where planning has helped me feel calm. And this was more when I was doing more done for you work for clients. So I would sit there on a Sunday afternoon and plan the week ahead, and that helped me feel really calm and really steady. Feeling supported is a big one for me. Like I need to feel like there's someone in my corner, and so something that I've set up is a recurring appointment with my VA for us to just check in with each other every Monday morning. And more often than not, it's just a voice note back and forth to have a little chat, but that's enough to make me feel supported, and that's what I need. Another one is feeling relaxed about money, which is why I always prioritize doing my finance work on a Monday morning. So I know exactly what the situation is. I know what's coming in, I know what's going out, I know where I need to invoice or chase something. And if I have any feelings come up about that, I can do some like money mindset work. I can do some tapping, I can do some journaling, like whatever it is I need. And then feeling like connected to the magical side of things, the spiritual side of things, I will pull some cards to set the scene for the week. And these are all really small, seemingly insignificant things, but they're very, very intentional. They are there to fulfill those specific needs that will then make me feel unstoppable. Because when I feel unstoppable, I know that I'm going to have momentum. And when I have momentum, I know that I'm going to have a successful week. So you see how all of these pieces fit together really nicely. So all you need to do to create this for yourself is to answer those questions for yourself. So what does your version of a successful week look like? And what do you need to feel completely unstoppable? And then when you have that insight, figure out what you need to do to tick both of those boxes. And it doesn't have to be as many things as I've listed right here. I just wanted to give you plenty of examples and show you how all of these things can layer together to create like a general sort of sense of positive momentum. I would love to hear from you, like in my DMs. Tell me how you would respond to these questions. Tell me what you think you would like to tweak going forward, just to make sure that you are making every week as good, as successful as possible. Reach out, tell me your stories. By now you should be seeing pretty clearly what will help you set up your version of a successful week. But if you need some extra support with this, please feel free to reach out. One of my superpowers is helping people figure out, you know, the practices, the systems, the rituals that help you get what you want, but in a way that works for your brain, because we are all different. We all have different lifestyles. We all have different needs. We have different preferences. And sometimes just talking it out together is a really helpful way to figure out what that looks like for you. So take full advantage of my presence. I still have a handful of free breakthrough sessions available. So if you want to snap one up and use it for this, please feel free. Just go to dairepaddy.com/breakthrough and you'll be taken to my booking page. Hopefully you can take what I've said, implement it, and already start seeing a difference in your week. When you are willing to do this, when you're willing to get strategic, and by strategic I just mean intentional, you will start seeing a shift, not just in the way you feel about your week and your work, but in the actual results you experience. So listen, take action, implement, embody, and watch as all the good things. Thank you for listening to Your Biz, Your Rules. I know that we all like to listen to podcasts, watch videos, read articles or books or posts on Facebook and not really do anything with that information. So I want to challenge you right now. I want to challenge you to take something from this episode, anything, and use it to spark action. Use it to activate some kind of change in the way you work and the way you live. Do yourself this service today and tell me all about it on Instagram. Hop over, shoot me a DM or share an Instagram story showcasing what action you are taking thanks to this episode. And of course, do all of the usual things. Subscribe, leave a review, let me know how much you love the show, and I'll be back with you next week.